MySQL is an open source relational database management system. As for this recording, the current version of MySQL is 8.0.29. The official GUI for MySQL is MySQL Workbench. MySQL is a relational database management system where you're going to join the table and retrieve the data. Let's deep dive into the course content, what we're going to learn from beginner to intermediate. So first is we'll install MySQL and we try to invoke the MySQL from the command line. Then we'll install the MySQL Workbench and we'll import some of the example databases. For the practice, we'll set up MySQL accounts like admin, dev, test. Then we'll provide the privileges to those accounts. Then we'll try to retrieve the data from a single table, then multiple tables by using joins. Then we'll talk about insert, update, delete data. Then we'll talk about data types, operators and functions. Also we'll talk about the summarizing the data. We'll write some complex queries from MySQL. Then we'll see the difference from standard SQL. Let's get it started. Well, so before we start installing MySQL, verify if it's already installed in the system. So go to this Mac icon, click on the system preferences and type here MySQL. So you see it's not there, so MySQL is not installed. So let's start installing the MySQL. So go to the browser and type dev.mysql.com. Now go to the downloads and scroll down. Click on MySQL Community. So community version is the free one, so we need to click on this. Then here we need to click MySQL Community Server. Click on this. And after that, here we need to select operating system as a Mac. If it's Windows or Linux, we need to select based on that. But here we're going to install on macOS, so we select the macOS. Then from here we need to select macOS 12, 86-64-bit DMG archive. So basically this one is for Intel, and this one is for ARM 64-bit is for M1 processor. So this MacBook is Intel. So how do we know if it is Intel? So go to the Apple icon, click on about this Mac. So you could see here it says Intel processor. So we need to download this one, Mac OS 12 86-64 DMG. So click on download and it will download the DMG file. To save the time, already I have downloaded this DMG. So I have stored here in documents and MySQL, and let's double click on this DMG file. Now double click on this .package. Now click on this allow button. Click on continue. Click on continue. Then click on agree for the license. Here, if you like to change the installation location, we could change it, but I'll install in the default location. So I'll click on install button. Then here the password is the system password. So I enter the Mac password and click on install software. Okay, so this point is here is very important. We need to select the first radio button because it is support the latest MySQL version, and also it supports the SHA-256. So which is basically secure hash algorithm. and which is used for cryptographic security. So we need to select this one. If in your system you have MySQL 5 or the lower version or the legacy system, then you can select this one. But we are installing the latest one, 8.0.29. So we need to select the first radio button, then click on next. And here this point is very, very important, because what are the password we're entering for root user, we need to remember this password, otherwise you will not able to connect to the database. So I'll enter a strong password, then click on finish. Then again here I need to enter my system password, click on OK. So it's now doing the database setup. Okay, now installation is complete. You could see here the installation was completed successfully. Now click on the close button. Now again go to the system preferences and search for MySQL. Now we could see there is a MySQL icon is there, so the installation is successful. That's great. So now double click on this icon. Now you could see the active instances, and it's in green color. That means MySQL is up and running. So if you like to stop MySQL server, I can click on this button. And also if I don't want that MySQL should be start automatically when computer starts up, I can uncheck this checkbox. And if you like to uninstall MySQL, the button is here. Let's go to the configuration. So here it talks about the directory where it's installed, the base directory, which is usr-local-MySQL. So that's great. So everything is configured. So now let's try to invoke MySQL from command line. So let's go to the terminal, and in this terminal we're going to create a symbolic link, and I'm going to put the MySQL inside the bin folder. So how do you do that? So the syntax is sudo is do as super user, then ln-s. It's a ln-s basically to linking the file in the Unix. Then I'll give the path usr local, then MySQL, then bin MySQL. Then I need to give the path where I'm going to create the link. The path would be usr, then local, then bin. So it will ask the password. Again, I need to enter the system password here. So enter the system password. Now the symbolic link has been created. Now if I'll go to this path, I should have MySQL. So let's verify. So cd local bin. If I do ls, so you could see the MySQL is there. That's great. So now let's go to the root directory. So cd tilde, then clear the terminal. Now let me try MySQL. So now you see here it says access denied because I need to pass the username and root password. So I didn't pass that one, that's why it didn't work. So let's type the command MySQL to connect to the root user and password. The syntax is MySQL, then -u, then root -p. Enter. So here this password, we need to enter the password while installing MySQL. We gave the root the password. While installing the MySQL, we get the password. So we need to enter that password. So the password, let me enter the password. Good. So now you could see it's connected to the MySQL, and it's talking about the version number, which is 8.0.29. That's great. So now we like to verify if some of the databases or schema are there. So to view the databases or schema, so the syntax is show databases. Now you could see there's a sys, which is a database, which is by default when you install MySQL, this database will install with MySQL. So now we could see the databases. That's great. So now if I'd like to come out from the MySQL, just type quit, semicolon. Now we come out from the MySQL. So today we learn how to install MySQL on Mac and how to invoke MySQL from the command line. So in the upcoming lecture, we're going to see how to install the workbench, MySQL workbench, and also we'll try to import some of the sample databases. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you. If this video is useful to you, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It means a lot to me. We're going to cover lots of topics in MySQL, so stay tuned and keep learning. Thanks again. Namaste.